Picture this. Thousands of years ago, a group of people huddle around a blazing fire under a canopy of stars. The air is filled with the crackling of flames and the deep, resonant voice of a storyteller, weaving a tale that captivates every listener. These stories weren't just for entertainment. They were life lessons, explanations of the universe, and the glue that held entire tribes together. Fast forward to today. Our fire pits have turned into screens, but our hunger for stories remains as strong as ever. Why is that? Why are myths, these ancient tales of gods, heroes, and origins, so deeply ingrained in us? Today, we'll unravel the powerful role of myths in shaping human civilization and explore why they still matter in our modern world. Let's rewind to the very origins of myths. Before skyscrapers and smartphones, there were campfires and stars. These early stories weren't just random fiction. They were humanity's first attempts to make sense of the world. Through myths, our ancestors asked profound questions. Who are we? Where did we come from? What is our purpose? Take the story of Zeus and Kronos from Greek mythology. On the surface, it's an epic tale of betrayal, revenge, and triumph. But dig deeper, and you'll see a universal theme: the struggle between generations, the balance of power, and the idea of renewal and transformation. It's no coincidence that almost every ancient civilization, from the Greeks to the Aboriginal tribes of Papua New Guinea, has myths. These stories transcend time and geography, proving they are as much a part of the human condition as our need for food and shelter. Let's look closer at why myths endure. They aren't just tales of gods and heroes. They're mirrors reflecting the deepest parts of ourselves. They teach us to confront our fears, to find courage when we feel powerless, and to see beauty in the chaos of existence. Through myths, our ancestors expressed the ineffable, emotions and truths that words alone couldn't capture. For example, in every culture, there's a story of creation. From the Norse giants carved from frost to the cosmic egg of Chinese mythology, these tales give us a sense of place in the vastness of the universe. Myths don't just explain the world, they invite us to dream about it. Now, what makes myths so powerful? One reason is their ability to offer moral blueprints for life. Myths are packed with archetypes, recurring symbols and characters that reflect universal human experiences. As Carl Jung described, these archetypes tap into our collective unconscious, giving us patterns to navigate life. For example, the hero's journey, a motif you'll find in stories from ancient epics to modern blockbusters like Star Wars, Zrania teaches us about resilience, growth, and transformation. The hero faces trials, overcomes obstacles, and emerges stronger. Isn't that what we all strive to do in our lives? Even the darker elements of myths, like Kronos devouring his children, symbolize deeper truths. In this case, it's a reminder of the destructive side of power and the inevitable cycle of change. Myths don't shy away from complexity, and that's what makes them so compelling. Myths also guide us by presenting choices, often through moral dilemmas faced by their characters. Consider the story of Prometheus, who defied Zeus to bring fire to humanity. His act of rebellion wasn't just about defying authority. It symbolized the pursuit of knowledge, the sacrifices required for progress, and the consequences of challenging the status quo. These stories resonate because they reflect the conflicts we face daily: loyalty versus justice, ambition versus humility, and risk versus security. Myths don't provide easy answers. Instead, they challenge us to think critically about our actions and their implications. But myths aren't just moral tales, they're also bridges between history and meta-history. What does that mean? History records facts, but myths capture the essence of human experiences. They give meaning to events and connect us to something greater than ourselves. Think about it. A myth isn't concerned with dates or precise details. Instead, it reveals timeless truths. For instance, the transition of Kronos from a feared tyrant to Saturn, the Roman god of agriculture, mirrors our human capacity for redemption and transformation. Myths remind us that growth often arises from adversity, a lesson as relevant today as it was millennia ago. Myths operate in a realm where literal facts and universal truths converge. While history might tell us when a war was fought, myths explain why people fought, what values, fears, or hopes drove them. They weave a narrative thread that transcends time, offering insights not just into events, but into the human condition. Take the myth of Pandora's box. Historically, it reflects humanity's attempt to grapple with the origins of suffering. But on a deeper level, it's about curiosity, the unintended consequences of our actions, and the enduring presence of hope even amidst chaos. These are struggles we still face, making the myth timeless. Myths also function as cultural anchors. They help civilizations define themselves, providing a shared narrative that unites people. The founding myths of Rome, like the tale of Romulus and Remus, didn't just explain Rome's origins. They reinforced ideals of resilience, ambition, and destiny that shaped the Roman identity for centuries. In this way, myths bridge the gap between the tangible and the transcendent. They help us see that while the specifics of history may fade, the deeper truths about humanity remain. This duality, rooted in history yet reaching beyond it, makes myths enduringly relevant. And here's the beauty of it. Myths don't just reflect the past, they project into the future. They offer a lens through which we can imagine what's possible, guiding us as we seek to create meaning in our own lives. You might be thinking, okay, ancient myths are fascinating, but do they still matter today? Absolutely. Myths haven't disappeared, they've evolved. They're hidden in plain sight in movies, books, and even corporate slogans. The narratives we consume today are built on the same archetypes as the myths of old. For instance, superhero stories are modern myths. Characters like Spider-Man and Wonder Woman embody the hero archetype, teaching us about responsibility, courage, and justice. Even advertising taps into mythical storytelling, selling products as gateways to transformation and fulfillment. But here's the catch. Unlike ancient myths that encouraged introspection and collective identity, many modern myths focus on consumerism and individual gain. This shift makes it even more critical to understand the myths shaping our lives today. So how can we use myths to enrich our lives? First, we need to recognize them for what they are: tools for understanding ourselves and our world. Instead of passively consuming stories, we can actively engage with them. Ask yourself, what does this story teach me? What archetypes resonate with my life? By doing so, you're not just a passive observer, you're an active participant in humanity's great narrative. Consider teaching children through myths. As G.K. Chesterton once said, children have an innate ability to see the world through a lens of wonder. They understand myths instinctively because they're not yet confined by rigid logic. Stories spark their imagination, teaching them values and resilience in ways lectures never could. As we wrap up, remember this: myths are more than stories. They're a reflection of who we are and who we aspire to be. They connect us to our ancestors and remind us that, no matter how advanced our technology becomes, our humanity is rooted in the same timeless questions. If this video sparked your curiosity, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support helps keep this conversation alive. And if you're eager to dive deeper, check out the next video on our channel. It's already waiting for you right here on the screen. Until next time, keep the fire burning. Goodbye.